Hi! Come on in. In today's video, I want to give you some of the biggest reasons why I love my career in technology. Welcome back to my channel, and I am so excited to talk to you today about some of the reasons why I love my career in technology. And I'll start by just letting you know a little of my background. I was not someone who took apart computers when I was young and liked putting things back together. I didn't expect to have a career in technology at all. I mean, this was not on my radar. I was in business and I thought I would either focus on international business or on marketing perhaps. But at the time, they were actually trying to encourage more women to join this management information systems major at my school. So I took a couple classes, I took some programming and otherwise, and I loved it. I had great professors, loved my classmates, and that is how I got into technology. And when I got out of school and was starting my career, I was in a lot of technology roles that ended up spanning the course of just a little over 10 years now. So I started as an information systems analyst. I moved into a business analyst role. So I was not programming, and at first that really bothered me. I wanted to be in a programming role, but I actually ended up liking this role of not being a programmer, but working with the programmers and the business people who were not technical, and making sure that requirements for projects were properly interpreted. So I did the business analyst role for a little while, and then I was asked to step in as a project manager. We lost a project manager in one of our workforce reductions. So I stepped into not only being the business analyst, but also the project manager for our IT teams. From there, I took a really interesting turn. There was a need for an IT auditor, and trust me, I was not someone as a child who wanted to be an auditor, but I actually ended up loving that role perhaps the most out of every opportunity that I had. And the reasons why were really threefold. One, it gave me opportunities to travel, which I really was into at the time and still love to do today. Two, I had a huge amount of variety in the work that I was able to do because we were responsible for auditing the entire IT organization, which is huge if you're familiar with IT. And three, it gave me a chance to interact with all levels at my company, from interns all the way up to our board of directors. So it was great exposure as well. And by the way, I will be making a follow-up video on some of the reasons why I don't love the technology field, and some may surprise you, so I'll make sure that I provide a link to that video. This first reason I'm sure will not surprise you. You've probably heard this or experienced it for yourself if you're in technology. Number one, it pays well. In some cases, it pays really well depending on the role. And when you're paid well for your work, you can enjoy it even more. It has allowed myself to do some really important things in my life, like getting my first house, as well as purchasing a vehicle that was more reliable early on in my career. It even allowed me just to save really well for my future, which gave me that great sense of security that I was in a field that would help to sustain my growth. Another reason why I love my career technology is it's just cool. It's just a cool thing to talk about with people, and it's a great thing to be able to explore in your personal and professional life. Technology is such a big deal and continues to grow. We know that it's not going anywhere, and there are so many cool and interesting things that you can do with a career in technology. That actually brings me to another point of why I love this career. It's that it is such a broad industry when you're in technology. You have cybersecurity, you have risk management. I could go on and on. You can serve so many different roles. You can be someone who's really technical, like say a software developer, or you can be more of a hybrid like what I described, something like a business analyst role. But what I have found that more and more, there are people in technology who do not have those typical technical backgrounds. Just to give you a couple of examples, my company has people in their technology space who have law degrees and who need to be experts in that space to help the technologists from a legal perspective. And the same goes for other similar areas like marketing and some of those other business components that play really critical roles in technology. I think this career is fascinating because you could hypothetically start off as someone like a software engineer, and from there, if you are really passionate about that role and very talented, you could potentially stay there for the rest of your career and be very happy and enjoy what you do. Or you could decide that you aspire to become the CIO of a company someday. And if you're not familiar with the acronym CIO, that is Chief Information Officer. And that's the title that's often used today for the leader of the technology department within an organization. So you could go more of the management route, or you could stay on the technical route if that's what you enjoy. And the last thing that I love about my career in technology is the fact that it is so virtual. Now, that's not to say that there's not a lot of FaceTime, because in the past that has been the case. Now with COVID, that has changed a lot of things. The pandemic of this year has really brought us to a point where we are working from home a great deal of the time. And it was a very easy transition to make. It's very different from someone who needs to absolutely travel for their work, someone who has to have in-person, face-to-face interactions. That's not necessary for a lot of technology roles, so that is a huge plus, especially if you're someone like me who might be a little more introverted and gets energy from working alone and having that solitude, as opposed to constant face-to-face interaction. I can do both, and I think they're both really important, but this gives you options for great balance. I actually have a little bonus here, which I think is very relevant, especially today. And you can really see this as a pro and con depending on what you experience. I love the fact that I can be somewhat of a trailblazer in my field. There aren't a lot of people like me in this space right now, and while that can make it very challenging, I feel a great sense of pride in knowing that I'm someone who will hopefully be helping to pave the way for others in the future. Are you in the technology space right now, and do you have some favorite things that you love about your technology career? If so, put them down in the comments below. Or if you're someone who's thinking about starting a technology career, what are some of the questions that you have about the pros of taking this career approach? Thank you so much for watching today. If you enjoyed this content, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you for the next video to talk about some of the things that I don't love about my technology career. I'll see you next time.